All right. I think we're going to have to do this again quickly. Yeah, Fambulem, like I say, I think we are live. And yes, I think we Right. Okay, Fambulan, just like I say, we are live and we are live. Thank you so much, for tuning in. This is just a quick and emergency broadcast. And this is to celebrate, along with 7.5 million people, the ecstasy, the enthusiasm, the sense of patriotism, the sense of feeling, the sense of attachment to the national team. You see, now, every country, there are moments such as this one in which a nation become very, very united in terms of what happen. And in this case, the national team of the Republic of Sierra Leone just happened for win a critical grouping, if you like, because I don't want to talk about only in the sense of a match, but there's so much more to it. And this, like I say, an emergency broadcast, and we will try for see whether we're able to address one or two, three things very, very quickly. Not a long program, it's a very short program, and we just want to identify a couple of things critically. And we don't want to mar the national kind of a feeling in terms of celebration. But we also don't want for the rogue elements capture on this moment and try to take them as the young. Okay, whereas it's the preparation of a nation. Of course, we understand and recognize a structure, because in everything of this kind, there has to be a structure. First of all, like the emblem on a CBNME, SLAFA is a structure. There is criticism at this particular tape in terms of SLAFA and many other things, but we'll come to that shortly. We just want for let we use this opportunity at this time for congratulate the national team. The Leone Stars of Sierra Leone, once again, they've made it through despite all of the difficulties. In football, sometimes this is the build-up. And when you're able to surpass or surmount them challenges today, the emotion we can burst out is unbelievable. And we will play one or two tapes to that effect before we do a quick analysis. So let me run down quickly, okay? Let me run down quickly to this program. Waiting, I want for do Fambulem. I want for let we get a quick background on this particular build up to this program, which is the game itself, not the broadcast way we do. In other words, before this match, long before this match, there were many other things that were ongoing, including major media broadcasting outlets being able to jump into this. And the title we put out today, of course, a little bit contradictory to what did not happen, but there are no regrets about the title because we really get to consider the title so that we know we almost were there, we managed to turn things around, but it don't mean say we can't get there again. But if we learn the lessons why we were where we were, or why we almost got to where we were, then we will try to avoid that. So this is exactly the thing. We understand the psychology of we people, never mind, because today everybody wants to celebrate, including myself. But I do have a responsibility as well for pull people in back by the collar. And it's like, hey, while we're celebrating, let's celebrate, but let's not forget about the challenges we had to overcome to get there. Because next time, if we do understand the challenges we had to overcome, forget whose side we get so today, it might be a little bit more easier for both the national team and as a nation. So the BBC, now one of the people, not just, like I say, one of the people we have to amplify the mishap And that captured in my statement here tonight, in which I ask, whether the Sierra Leonean national team, as per the organizers them, were serious in terms of waiting than they do, because many things be involved, including COVID vaccine, where certain players are not taken, as we understand, only 2 players them or 3 players them may not take them at the time. And then we may guess for see pictures that we imagine earlier on with we team stuck up na the Conakry Sierra Leone border. And obviously the exchange, because I meet quite a number of people and then it feels like they talk up from a political perspective, but it was a question because there were many things floating on social media. It's like, what really happened? And some people then say, well, the team decide for rest now, Conakry, which could be possible, but I find it difficult for absorb, because a team, no, a football team, I've played football before, not on that exotic level though. Let me just make this clear. A team no want that. Regimental things them no want that. You want to get to your hotel quietly and when time, because everything is about preparation. Before you left your country, everything is prepared for make a smooth transition into that process day where you they go to, even within your own country, because there are rules that guides us that we get for go by. And if we not go by them rules, then they, of course, they come for hunt we. And ladies and gentlemen, let me just remind you that for the last couple of months, all of these things have been happening. And despite us overcoming this challenge, and this is not just one challenge because there's going to be many of these, but until we understand these challenges and try for avoid them in the sense that we do with due diligence, then we go all experience, waiting we experience to the build-up of this match. This could have been clinical for us. This is a football terminology, clinical for us. Unfortunately, it wasn't clinical. It was for every inch and space for the field. It's a game where I watched myself. There were tense moments in which the Leone Stars came to salvaging points and putting the game beyond the reach of the Beninois. But unfortunately, it not happened, and there were critical moments in which they keep us on the edge of the seats, including myself, in which the Beninois them almost came to equalizing, finding an equalizing goals. So there were tense moments. It was a good football match altogether. There were 1 or 2 mishaps, but largely 90+% of the match was a good match. Fluid football, attacking football, a bit of a good defensive play on both sides, because there were critical moments in which both sides launched offensives. But that was a good thing. But here is the thing. So the BBC itself weigh in, and I talk about a stigmatization where possibly go affect we in terms of all the time when they get involved, the funny things there where they compromise with national integrity. Me affected, you affected. Don't want it that way. And mind you, guys, ladies and gentlemen, this is not a politics. This is not just a fact. The big question we want for ask is, we get responsible government officials, and the most critical one, and in fact, the one we bring government come inside the picture before people begin look at as if now government now they act. Of course, we are talking to government, but via the entity or the institution we're responsible as per government connection, which is the Ministry of Sports. Why after 3 months, we Leone Stars players then, they don't get vaccination against COVID-19. And we know say they get for travel, for meet up their obligation there, as stipulated in the football calendar. Why after 3 months? Remember, this don't happen before? 3 months after all the things that they were happen, then still yet, we players them and officials them, they've not been vaccinated against this COVID-19. Why? This is one critical question where I hope say the authorities then will take into note and try for address. You see, this same thing happened at Conakry, Guinea. And even before the players they reach Conakry, Guinea, we see what happened at the border. I don't know exactly what happened there yet, because like I say, different reports come out, and as people like can try for politicize their situation there, we, the responsible press, get for be careful as to how we report things, so we don't happen for look like as if we are sharing one side of the story instead of being objective as to the entire story. So we'll not be know what happened. Like for example, I see a critical report come up from somebody when I trust, But then again, because I get to be careful and not carry that story there, which is it being related to COVID-19 shots or vaccinations. So it does look like that story them incredible, because in the end, we see waiting play out 24 hours or even less than 24 hours before the game. Less than 24 hours before the game. So we see, say, as a consequence of this, there was a delay, if you will like, or some kind of postponement of the match. So today, of course, that game they don't play. Some of what we talk now reflection, because we have to be in the hand. Waiting will be the outcome, waiting will look like. So today we celebrate and we tend for one forget. I don't want to soil the debate on the celebration or the general celebration of with people them. We will play some tape them, but we want to use the occasion just briefly, because I can go on and try to be critical, but I will left the criticism or the critique for another day, because it's absolutely imperative that these things we will get for look on them so that it doesn't happen again, because these are international humiliation. And when we are humiliated internationally, it affects every one of us. Now, like I say, this is not about those some people and try for politicize them, okay? It's not about the politics. One thing where they unite an entire country is sports. Like how the country win today, like how the Leone Stars win today. The entire country is united, except the Badat one them. Now the no more go they celebrate, because under the government of President Julius Maada Bio, this Leone Stars win. We're supposed to be a national celebration, and it is. But there are few hurt souls. We know that as a consequence of a country. We definitely do know this. I get call, and I make a pause a little bit. I don't want to take any call. This is not just a quick one. So, a group of senior government officials from, whether you want to talk about ministries, departments, or agencies, look, this is reality, will have to be held accountable for what happened. This is what happens. It's about the process of accountability. It's an unmitigated disaster. Thank God we win, because it would have even been worse. So how we arrive at how we arrive, we ask government for set up some kind of inquiry, for look into this thing, because this is not a small thing. It's a football calendar. It's international. It's CAF organized, backed by FIFA, the world's biggest football organization. And yet this is what we had to go through. So even so much so that we embassy in Conakry, Guinea, you get for ask question as to waiting themselves be they do, because now coordination from different bodies, different institutions, different management sites of the entire length and breadth of the country. We get responsibility for do exactly what will bring success to the nation in terms of football, whether or not the Ministry of Sports, whether or not the NRA, whether or not SLAFA, the Football Association. They all get responsibility. So when we feel somehow for accomplish this, because it's supposed to be 100%, and not put we play them under undue stress. And if anybody don't play football, there are some stress which can be positive in football that are not for sure, but there are many other stresses which can be negative, because you want optimism, not the camp. Before a match, you want optimism. You want people the way they mobilize that camp, the way they move that camp. Now make even the people the way they get the captain band, now people the way able for mobilize, motivate, and organize. Now they give, because that's what a team needs for go out to win. We don't need all the odds stack up against them, travel arrangements wrong, COVID-19 vaccinations wrong. No, we don't need that. So prior to this match, why were there no vaccinations, especially for critical sectors of this kind? People that we get for fly with flags them abroad. Why were there no flags flying? And I emphasize this again. This is not a criticism on the part of government. People then go say, well, if I be left we celebrate it. Of course, we will celebrate despite what I say. But it's equally important that we begin to identify the things then, because this is not the end of the thing, it's a kind of process. It's a qualification process. There's going to be another, till you go forward for eventually win. And the winners or winning belong to only those who are prepared technically, financially, physically, morally, psychologically prepared. This is the game of football, the beautiful game. So we don't take all of that. I want to play another quick video of celebration, like I said today, and really don't want to dampen the mode, because after all, we won the match and we are supposed to move on. But if we don't understand how we win, why we win, how to avoid the constraints the way we suffer, then obviously it's going to be even more difficult ahead for us. Let me watch one more video about the celebration quickly. Just like I've been saying, this is not just one video of waiting national unity can achieve. Most things where politicians them can want for harnessed na national unity. So once again, I use this opportunity for say thanks and congratulations to the twinkle little stars, the Leone Stars of Sierra Leone. They've made a nation very, very proud. And I want to use the platform for congratulate them. Okay? This is about congratulations, but at the same time, it is about identifying some of the issues them where we suffer as a consequence of the road or the journey to where we are today. That we can do more good to we nation via, if not football, they play, and in this case, specifically football, remove a lot of pressure where the player they don't need for go perform, okay? Play for the nation, win games, and unite the country. Now you see so. So for now, one tip, I will play a few others. You see a nation united under football. This is what football do. Football does not have the time for color, party colors, politics, even though some people can try to politicize them. But it should not be, and we should not be trying it. That's why the International Football Association, which is FIFA, never encourage politics inside sports. Because when you bring politics inside sports, it is spoil the goodness of the game. And at some point, we encounter this now, we own slaffer, where certain officials then try to bring politics inside football, even though then they tell them these are the rules. You cannot. But again, let we not take the accolade. Let we not take the celebration. Let we not take the win out of this marvelous, wonderful, wonderful Leone Stars. I mean, I feel like something had to be done today, in as much as I want to look at the critical aspect, because this is what we do. I think I've spoken a little bit about it, and maybe I might spend another 5 minutes on this, but I want to focus on the win today. So this now the wonderful, wonderful Leone Stars we win the match today. Let us see whether I'm able for bring any more further videos about the celebration of the Leone Stars match. Let me just see whether I'm able for bring a further celebration of the Leone Stars match. This is really interesting. I mean, it sent me thoughts and memories all the way back. You know, yeah, like we been the play. But like I say, don't get me wrong, not play on this exotic level, but did play some level of football. And it gives you the feeling of winning. We know what winning they mean then. And especially with them particular one there, if you not play, you know, they understand the burden within at the head of them people there. The burden of an entire nation rests on the back or the head of them people there we play so today. So the fact that they went on to win, congratulations and massive congratulations to them. Let me take a look at this other and compliments to Nas because now we play compliments to Nas. So that was another video of Central Freetown erupting like a volcanic eruption. And this is football, it's unbelievable. Today, now a united, this is a day when everybody they unite across the nation. I've been in this situation many a times in which it doesn't matter about your stripe, about your color, about your party, about your tribe, about your region. It really doesn't matter. It's national. It's about a nation. It's about the color. It's about this green, white, and blue. And like I say, it's about the length and breadth of an entire country. That's what these players represent. Tonight, they've done us all proud. They've really done us all proud. And I have no doubt that the president, the government of the Republic of Sierra Leone, have done a marvelous job in terms of motivation. Yes, they are responsible for motivation because remember, I say all of them require and demand planning. It requires logistics. Who does that? Who provide that? Especially in a country where largely it's government dependent on many of the things, whether or not job creation and many other aspects of development, partnership, and etc. is government. So government therefore shift a large chunk of their attention and in many respects money and other things then towards the organization of such massive program, such as the national team where they carry the burden of a nation, 7.5 million. Some of us will not understand what this means, what it means for the young man they are. Why a government will go and make promises, you know, you're waiting for the beyond the world to them people there is because it's an absolute necessity. Because especially with a nation divided, some of the people who can be responsible for reuniting a nation, or at least forget a trauma that we they go through, at least provide hope for a nation. It's a national team. In this case, it is football. Could be tennis, could be long jump, could be high jump, could be baseball, whatever. In this case, it's football. And with us, football is a kind of a religion, and they've done it. I watched videos of we greatest international ever, Mr. Mohamed Kalon, and he hosted a program after the match, and this is critical because that has to continue. An historical perspective as to how we arrive, so pay homage to we other great players them along the way to this crop of young players, we eventually at some point will pass the baton. But for now, then dinner the limelight. To Una, I salute Una. I say thanks and praises to Una. I speak to Una from the depth of my heart, and I'm speaking to the Leone Stars. I appreciate waiting una do so. Una self you go out for una contemplate waiting una achieve so today. Because yes, it's about victory. And as a player, una understand what victory is. But sometimes it go far beyond this, especially when they carry the national color. Because in the long run, historically speaking, it will be written, and this they don't go down in the history books. Just like how una been going to Nigeria, una go draw 4-4 with the mighty Green Eagles. Una don't know how una salvage a country. Between 200 million people and 7 million people, una made a difference. It's the same thing we don't happen here today in a different light. But in the end, football is about victory. Like the great Joseph Mourinho say, it's about results. Yes, some managers can aspire for win clean and fine, tawo tawo, 1-2-1-2, tiki taka. But in the end, what are the results? And the results tonight say, twinkle, twinkle, Leone Stars, you have prevailed. You have done a nation proud. And I want to see whether I'm able to play one more video and then that of the president. Let's have a quick one.
It's being mobbed right now. Madam here is being mobbed right now in vehicle. And people in the run after, so say they go down. Yes, sir. Major complaint for Salud. You want no convoy now in the mob, so. Right now.
Okay. So you go hear that is the president vehicles. Vehicle rather. Of course, there's a fleet of vehicles being mobbed. Because why? This not the president at this time now. He steered the nation to where we are now, or also the national team day. Of course, he provide motivation. Some of us may not want to give him that, but if you understand what's in a motivation inside football, then absolutely you will get for excuse the president and say, yes, Mr. President, Your Excellency, you do that. And in this regard, I want to salute the president for motivating the boys in many different respects. Whether I promise you promise them financial reward, whether I promise you promise them some kind of material reward, but there was a conclusive goal where you be want. And there was a reason behind that. And when those requests are made, now because there is an overarching achievement, which is go on and win a United Nations so that we go take the pieces from there and move on. And this is exactly what the nation has done. It appear for say, they've listened to the president, they've gone out there and listened to it all. Remember, the president is the commander-in-chief, despite our differences, despite our political differences, despite our regional differences. Tonight, we talk about the green, white, and blue. And for this, I want to commend the president for having motivated the boys, providing the wherewithal, despite the differences, the difficulties. But in the end, I'm sure the president will have been on the phone. What is going on? This match has to be played. You guys have to do everything within your means. I empower you. Whatever you need, make that request. I will make it available. But this match must be played, and the Leone Stars must prevail against the Beninois. And this now happened for be the case. And for this again, I say I commend the president for that. I really commend the president, but when the president deserve commendation, why shouldn't I? It's not personal. It's just being critical. Like again, I try for hold and foot to certain things. It's not personal. It's just that you do your homework so that we lovely, beautiful, extraordinary Leone Stars, these young guys, as I look at them, who could be my sons, will extol the values, represent the nation, and be what we expect. When they come towards the end of the program, Fambul, and like I said, in a short program, we said we just want to partake in this celebration of victory on a national level. Actually, they look for one video way of the president. I hope I find them. I really want to play them because the president rightfully take responsibility, take charge, And while some of us go on fault on that, but one thing what we need for member back is, had it not succeeded, had the Leone Stars failed today, most of us will have politicized it to a point where we will have blamed the president of the republic, because there are many things where we can point to in terms of blaming, where I've been trying for go to. I will come to this another day, but I've been defend this video where I want to play where the president self talk. It's so important for play this video that kind of the struggle. I hope say the team been download them and send them off to me. And I hope say the team been download them and send them off to me. Doesn't look really likely, but we are not giving up. Of course, we don't give up. We strive till the very end. So now that light day, now in at the look so for see whether I go able for fan that particular video day we belong to the president, because now we final video for this segment for today on the victory of the twinkle Leone Stars. Yeah. I am chuffed. I am happy, extremely happy that the Leone Stars prevailed today. Many things are put to rest. It also implied that we put with differences to rest, at least for now, because there's cause for unity. There is cause for celebration. We just hope, say, instead of we play political pranks with this, we go on for try for see whether we can use them for achieve other benefits from this for we nation. We go be truly representative of a nation. We go truly be inspirational of a people we want something for happen. We know how they want this thing for happen and how it for happen. So, Fambula Muna, just bear with me. I'll find this video. That will be the final video for today. When we play them, that effectively will have brought us to the end of our program for today. And that effectively would have brought us to the end of our program today, because it's necessary for let we feature the president of the republic. And once we don't feature the president of the republic, we're able for project in sentiment how excited he himself is. Then obviously, that become an important journey in terms of the accomplishments of the twinkle Leone Stars. Leone Stars, we are very proud of you. We absolutely are kind of moon do you do. I keep they say, forgive me in terms of me just they repeat almost the same thing. Now, because I try to offend the president in video, where the president himself spoke. But if I can't offend him, there are many other times where we'll play him. So in every sense of the word, wow, I'm so impressed with this Leone Stars team today. I tell them thank you for waiting and do, and I salute them. Ladies and gentlemen, every good thing must come to an end. Leone Stars, bear in mind that this is not the end of the journey. This is not even the middle of a journey. It is a journey. Sometimes, just like the Beninois media platform, the journey is about where we are heading. So we don't picture Usa with the head already. Not Usa with the, because all of it we don't anticipate this rocky road, this rocky path, which we get for encounter. Imagine, when I get for sleep on the sidewalk, when I get for sleep na a boundary between two nations, quite matter. You understand? Some of them boundaries, and I have lived there. I have slept there myself between Guinea-Conakry and Sierra Leone. I've slept there, of course, over to Pamlap, Forekaria, and Kalia. There are people who might be watching or go watch this program knowing exactly what I'm talking about. But spirit for extolling challenges, surmounting these challenges. And today, this is exactly what you guys have done. You've done a nation proud, but there are more challenges ahead. Having won this, let's celebrate tonight. Let's celebrate tomorrow. In fact, let's celebrate this week. But by next week, we have to start preparing for the task ahead. In this regard, I say thank you to Unaola Salutuna, salute the government despite the differences and difficulties. Let's be prepared for the next challenge. Thank you so much, Leone Stars. Much love. Thank you so much. Good night.